welcome back to Geeky Magic. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm really excited about it. It's very reminiscent of the sound of music. We're going to talk about my favorite things. So cue in Raindrops on Roses. My favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. But I thought with the Black Friday shops coming up and the holiday season is upon us, I wanted to review some of my absolute favorite products that I use personally, that I recommend, and I often gift as well. So I wanted to kind of give you a rundown. We're going to be talking about when we talk about favorite things, I want to talk about skincare and beauty. I want to talk about metabolic health. I want to talk about jewelry. I want to talk about workout gear. And I want to talk about makeup as well. So these are all the girly things, right? These are the things that we're all really concerned with. And there's no shame in wanting to have better, a better skincare routine, reducing inflammation and becoming more metabolically healthy. And maybe that's a gift that you give to yourself. And also jewelry. I think jewelry is a beautiful way to gift someone who you really love something special. So we'll talk about some beauty, my favorite workout gear. I live in workout gear all the time. So there's a couple favorites that I love and then some makeup as well. All right, so let's start with skincare. We are now officially, by the time this podcast comes out, in fall. The weather is a bit windier, it's a bit drier. I am starting to notice, I get little like dry flakes on my face. So a couple of products that I absolutely love through the winter is from a company called Primal Life Organics. And there's 3 products in particular that are absolutely my favorite things. I use them all through the winter. I actually use them through the summer as well. But I'm much more regimented when it comes to the winter application. So the first is my favorite for the morning. It is a coffee. It's called the Coffee Elixir Serum. It smells like espresso. So if you love the smell of coffee, as I do, there's nothing better than putting a coffee flavored serum on your face. And it has ingredients like Arabica coffee seed oil, argan oil, collagen protein, which is all used to help moisturize and brighten your skin. It helps to improve uneven skin tone. And of course, the coffee is going to help to promote that firmness. So I use the Coffee Bean Elixir serum every morning. In terms of a moisturizer, this is probably the best facial moisturizer that I have ever come across. It is called the Beyond Moisturizer because it is just beyond amazing. I mean, I'm sure that's not why they called it that, but that's my interpretation of it. It's like skin food. Like there's so much goodness. Some of the ingredients are tamano oil, emu oil, rose hip seed oil, sea buckthorn oil, beeswax. All of this like heals, hydrates, and helps to reduce the appearance of that sort of dull, dry skin, again, really firming as well. And this is more of an intense moisturizer. I would say I don't use it every day, especially if I'm going to put on makeup afterwards. It's like a heavy duty moisturizer that you might, use on the weekend when you're not wearing makeup that day and you're just letting your skin breathe. This is the perfect moisturizer I have ever come across. I absolutely adore it. And then the last, I love the entire line, but these are like my favorites. So the last one from Primal Life Organics that I wanted to mention is something that I use at night. It's called their Blueberry Elixir. So this is basically a vitamin infused serum for your skin. So it has things like goji, acai, golden berries, blackberries, green tea, blue tansy, camu, passion fruit mangoes. All of these things help to soften the skin and help repair as you sleep. Overnight, our brain is repairing and regenerating, and so is our skin. So this is something after I take my makeup off. I usually will take my makeup off with some olive oil. If I have eye makeup on, I'll take off my eye makeup. And then I'll put this blueberry elixir on in the evening. Now, These are my favorite skincare products. We actually had the owner of Primal Life Organics in our Betty Beauty course. So I'll make sure to put a link in Betty Beauty. It's basically a 4-week course on how to overhaul some of the toxic face creams and products that we use in our everyday. So, in the same way that we rally against big food and we rally against major corporations, when Trina, who is the owner of Primal Life, she rallies against big Cosmo. She calls it like big cosmopolitan, where we go to these department stores and everything smells a certain way. And so she actually deconstructs in the course how to read a label. If the first ingredient is water, you have a huge problem. And she actually goes through why, what to look for instead. And then we talk about how to actually firm up the skin. So we go through like facial tightening and like basically face yoga in the course as well. So I'll make sure that we have a clickable link there for you. And of course, for anything Primal Life, I believe that I have a discount. I believe it's 30% off of like actually anything in the store. So I'll make sure that our link is there for you to click on, and it'll automatically calculate the discount at checkout. But if you are new to the company and you don't know what to choose or where to start, those would be the 3. Like, even if you're gifting this for yourself, it will be a really awesome mom and daughter gift, or like a best friend gift, or something for your cousin if you're really close to, maybe your sister or your cousin. Absolutely adore these products. Use them, especially in the fall and winter. My skin just naturally gets drier in the winter. But I admit I'd like to use them in the summer as well. All right. And continuing on in our beauty, I have a couple of unconventional beauty hacks for you. One is in supplement form. It is called Primadine or Primadine. This is probably one of my favorite beauty hacks, even though it's a supplement. Primadine is a supplement offered from Oxford Health. It has a component in it called spermidine. And yes, it's extracted from exactly what you think it's extracted from. And this compound, spermidine, helps with many, many metabolic functions. I mean, truly, the supplement could have been in the metabolic function category, but I really want to talk about it from a beauty perspective because, it does things like inducing autophagy and cellular cleaning. This tends to get worse as we age, especially if we are not moving as much as we should, getting enough sunlight, getting enough sleep, that kind of thing. So really awesome for metabolic function. That's one thing. But the reason why I really like it, and this has actually been the most shocking for me, is the effect that it has had on my hair. So I have actually been noticing that my hair, so like where I part, if you're watching this on YouTube, like I'm trying to show you where I part my hair. So I have, I tend to part my hair in the middle. And what I've noticed is along my part, and then even like my side part as well, a lot of gray hairs there. Like that's only where I seem to have my gray hairs. I don't know why that's so unfair because that's like what I'm highlighting on my scalp. But since taking Primadine, a lot of those gray hairs are now actually turning back to brown. So I have hairs that are brown here and then like kind of gray in the middle and then they're brown on the other side. So I'm actually seeing the reversal of gray hair in not all of my hair, but in a significant amount. And actually I reached out to the company when I started noticing this happening because there was literally nothing else that I had done in my routine other than add in the spermidine, like the Primadine product into my regimen. And I was noticing this change. And when I reached out to the owner, she was like, oh, that happens all the time. Like, yeah, we have women and men that have gone from completely gray all the way back to their original hair color. So, when I'm thinking about reducing, endocrine disrupting, these chemical compounds that we're exposed to, hair dye is a really big one. And so if I can reduce the frequency with which I color my grays, I'm all in for that. So again, we'll have a clickable link for you in the show notes. And if you use code Dr. Stephanie 10, you're going to get 10% off of your order. And I got to tell you, the way I take Primadine is I take 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. And that's more than the recommended dosage, by the way. They recommend you take 3. I like to take 4 just because I'm just extra. You don't have to do that, but I take 2 and 2. And I just absolutely love this product. And I want to shout from the mountaintops how much I love it. So Primadine, link is in the show notes, but you can at checkout, enter Dr. Stephanie 10, and you're going to get 10% off. Okay, last one in beauty, and then we'll move into metabolic health. So my last thing that I wanted to bring up is red light therapy. Now I could probably I have, I have done a podcast just on red light therapy, and I'll make sure that we put that link in the show notes if you want more. But in terms of beauty, it helps with when you are exposing your skin and your hair to red light therapy on a consistent basis. It helps with anti-aging effects in the skin. So it makes it stimulates collagen and elastin production. So this is something that we lose as we age. In the face, this is where we start to see kind of like the drooping, like the jowls. We start to see like fat loss and sort of that plumpness underneath the eyes and in the cheeks. So daily red light therapy, there's a plethora of studies that have been shown to reduce that. And then the other thing that it does, and this may be more of a kind of a gift for yourself as well. You can kind of get either, there's small, medium, and large devices, but for hair regrowth. So one of the things that some of my perimenopausal women will report is, particularly in their late 40s, they are starting to notice loss of hair with lower estrogen, lower testosterone levels. So hair, putting the red light therapy, at the temples. This is also particularly true of my women who have PCOS. We tend to lose the temple hair at the temples first. So that will help to stimulate hair regrowth as well. There's also like Hashimoto's thyroiditis. This is a really big one for my Hashis ladies, thinning hair that's falling out as well. So, the product that I use is called Orion Red Light Therapy. And I have I forget the model, but there's only 3 sizes. It's like small, medium, large. I have the medium one. So I actually use it daily after my workout. So there's other benefits that red light therapy has. Like it helps with muscle repair, helps reduce inflammation, helps to reduce seasonal affective disorder, helps to reduce depression, all of these different things, helps with circadian rhythm, like all the things. But I'll typically use it after a workout. So, I do my workout, I go upstairs, I get naked in front of the red light therapy, and I'm doing things like, so I'll spend, 10 minutes, call it, in front of the red light therapy as I'm getting ready. And, have more presents for you, of course, if you are interested in owning a red light therapy box for personal use. Orion, when you purchase an Orion device using the code Stephanie10, will give you 10% off of your purchase as well. And this will all be in the show notes as well. So when you go to the website, you can use the code at checkout. So I know that those last 2 were kind of metabolic and beauty, but I feel like those 2 things really go hand in hand with each other. When we're thinking about beauty, exterior beauty, often our skin, our eyes, our tongue, the brightness of our cheeks, like these are all subtle indicators, whether you have like dark circles under your eyes, these are all subtle indicators of your metabolic health as well. And of course, when you have dark circles under your eyes, when your skin is dry and your skin color is sallow, that can also indicate, relative markers of insulin resistance and, sluggish metabolism, sluggish detoxification, the works. So they kind of overlap with each other, but I wanted to really highlight those products in terms of why I love them for beauty, because I am a vain woman. I admit it. This is my Southern belle coming out. Like I love to look good. And I will always appreciate beauty tricks, especially if they can augment what I already have. So those are my skin and beauty tricks for you. In terms of metabolic health, I'm including this in a category in my favorite things, in this geeky magic favorite things, because I think that there's so many cool, gadgets and gadgets and things that you can, gift yourself, or you can gift a friend. And I think that, in these, in the past, let's call it 2 years at this point, 22 months ish, your metabolic health is one of the big drivers for your success, especially when we think about the pandemic, some of the cofactors that really dictate success. If you, and I should not say if, but when you come into contact with, the any type of virus or pathogen, but in particular COVID, it's not a question of if, just when you come into contact with it. You want to be as metabolically healthy as you can. So for that reason, I have 3 metabolic tools that I use every day. The first is Lumen. This is a breath analyzer that basically looks at your carbon dioxide levels to determine how much fat you're burning, essentially. So I love this because you can take multiple tests per day. So when you first wake up, I always do a Lumen breath. When, during a fast, you can see whether you're fat burning or not. Right before a meal, right after a meal, right before exercise, right after exercise. And this is such a cool tool because if you were doing, if you were looking at your measurements through blood, as many diabetics are unfortunately forced to test their insulin like multiple times a day, by the end of the day, like you are basically trying to milk that finger. You're trying to get that damn blood out of the finger. So I love this because it's a breath analyzer test, and there's essentially no upper limit in terms of how many times you can test. And you can really do some cool N of 1 experiments. Like you can look at certain foods and you can just, for example, have an avocado or half of an avocado or whatever the portion size is, and look to see what your response is. Does that kick you out of ketosis? Like most people will be like, no, it doesn't. It's like, that's like the hallmark for keto is an avocado. Well, for some people, that might be too much carbohydrates because avocados do have some carbs in them. That might kick them out. So you can do all these really cool experiments with the Lumen. So highly recommend that. That might be a really good gift for you and maybe your significant other. If you are making a commitment, maybe it's not the holiday season, but maybe it's right after in January to like finally take control of your health. That might be something really good to do with your significant other or an accountability partner. You guys can kind of share, your results every day. I think that's really wonderful as well. And I do have a discount. I just can't remember what it is offhand, but I will make sure that it is in the show notes for you. And then my last 2 favorite products are basically, I would call them insurance policies. So the first is Athletic Greens. This is more of a gift for yourself, actually, because it's like a sort of an all-in-one drink. And when we think about getting enough greens every day, that is going to promote metabolic health. But in order to do that, you really need to be having somewhere around a pound of greens every day. And let's just be honest, like I'm going to be on it. Like that doesn't happen for me every day. Some days I have like back-to-back calls and like I just have time to kind of like throw back a protein bar, which is not ideal. Don't do that. But like sometimes that's what I have to do. But if I have Athletic Greens in the morning, which is when I take it, usually on an empty stomach, I'm getting a prebiotic, I'm getting a probiotic, I'm getting all my greens. So this is kind of like my insurance policy. So if you are if you know that you're not the type of person to do all the food prep, like you're not going to buy the broccoli and all the celery and all the, the kohlrabi and the cabbage and all the things, and that's just going to like sit in your fridge, smelling up your fridge. Athletic Greens is a really nice alternative to that. And it actually tastes really good too, which is a lot of green drinks, like they taste like ass. So they taste like you're drinking a swamp, and Athletic Greens actually taste good. So I recommend it. It's one of the sponsors for the podcast as well. And I wouldn't actually allow it to be a sponsor if I wasn't taking it and if I wasn't absolutely in love with it. All right. Last insurance policy in the metabolic health, and then we'll kind of get into some jewelry and workout gear and fun stuff. Electrolytes. So low carb, if you're low carb or you're keto, this isn't, you know very well that this is an absolute essential to helping with your hydration levels. If you are someone who is working out regularly, you know that you need to be salting your food liberally and also potentially taking electrolytes. So the one of my favorite ways to do that is to consume a product called Element. It's spelled LMNT. And in my opinion, this is just the best electrolyte company on the planet. The owner is Rob Wolf. You may remember him from the absolutely stellar interview that I had with him earlier this year. We'll put a link in the show notes again for you to make sure that you can go back. Just like an intellectual spanking on regenerative agriculture and why we need to be moving away from monocrops like soy and corn, and why things like I forget their name, Beyond Meat, Impossible Burger, I think those are the names, why we really need to be moving away from frankenfoods like that. Anyway, Rob, high integrity, one of the best podcast interviews, in my opinion, of the year. And of course, he's done, you can really tell with Rob, like excellence is one of his core values, and of course brings that to his business as well. And I know I have a couple favorites. Element, I love their orange and I love their raspberry, but they've just launched a new flavor, and it's just for the season. It's mint chocolate, like how appropriate. Really nice wintry kind of flavor. It launches November 16th, and they have it while supplies last. Like once it's done, it's done. So we have a clickable link for you as well for Element to sign up for it. You can sign up to get a starter pack if you like, or you can just kind of buy the whole kit and caboodle. Highly recommend the raspberry and the orange. Those are my favorites. I also really like chocolate. That one's a really good one too. Okay. Let's talk about some jewelry, ladies, shall we? So I want to introduce to you, I've never really spoken about this company before, but I wear their jewelry all the time. The company is called Rocking Vibe. And I first met the owner, Leanna, several years ago. My partner was hosting a big entrepreneurial event, and she was the official photographer for the event. And I was getting ready to go on stage. I had a blue dress on, and she's like, you know what, you need this. I just want to finish off your outfit. If I can, can I give you something to wear? And it was this beautiful choker, and it had this it was very dainty, very feminine. And it had this beautiful little stone in the middle. And she told me about how the properties of this stone really help to open up your throat chakra. And I've talked about my throat chakra needing all the help that it can get. I mean, I know I'm a podcast host, but whenever I get frustrated, when I get upset, I feel achy, and I just shut down. Like my throat feels like I can't actually express myself, which I know, coming from someone who speaks, this podcast is part of my it's part of my life now. That may seem a little bit contrarian, but I promise you it's true. So really was like, oh, well, thank you so much. Went on stage, got tons of compliments from it, and have really started collecting piece by piece. I have several of her pieces, and she really does a good job of putting crystals together with jewelry. And it's not, even though I like big crystals, and I cannot lie. But when you're talking about in terms of jewelry, I love the subtlety of the everyday wear. So she has these beautiful crystals, and she integrates them into pieces that you can wear every day. And there's a new piece that I actually just picked up for myself, and I'll share it with you if that's the first piece you want to go with, or you want to go with something else. It's called I Am Woman, and she launched it last year. It sold out. I couldn't get my hands on it last year. But the messaging around this particular piece was that, and I should also say each piece has a story. So she talks about a heroine or a goddess, or how this particular crystal is going to give you certain energy. And the messaging around this particular piece called I Am Woman is that the woman I was yesterday is introducing me to the woman that I am today, which makes me excited about meeting the woman I will become tomorrow. I mean, gosh, how amazing is that, right? So, check out the line. If you love it, let me know. If you pick up a piece, let me know. I know I was actually just speaking to her and I said, I want to talk about your jewelry. And she's like, well, let me just give you a discount for everybody. So if you use the code HelloBetty15, that's HELLOBETTY 15, that'll take 15% off of any purchase, like store-wide. Okay. So let's move on to some workout gear. I mentioned that I am constantly in workout gear. I am recording this podcast right now in workout gear. Actually, if any of you have the current Strong Fitness magazine in your home, you may recognize this white and black pinstriped outfit. This is from Aloe Yoga. Absolutely love Aloe. And the other two companies that I usually alternate between. So I have sort of three mainstays. It's Zella by Nordstrom. Absolutely love Zella. It's a very basic, like everyday, you can get greens and burgundies and blacks, and it's just kind of all solid colors. They fit beautifully. For the Strong Fitness magazine shoot, in the workout section, I am in a green outfit. That outfit is by Lorna Jane. Lorna Jane is an Australian fitness company. Great stuff. They fit incredibly well. I have pretty much every print piece that they have. So those are my favorite workout companies. I use, as I mentioned, I'm like in one of those three pretty much every day. And then when I dress up, I'm often wearing like an Adidas dress. So like I'm very, very much into workout gear. I think one of the things I would love to do, and I'll just put this dream out there for you to revel in with me one day, is to actually start a fitness clothing line, because I just want to, I being a curvy woman myself, I really want to put together a line that celebrates women of all shapes and sizes. So those are my favorite workout. That's like, that's sort of the BTS in terms of what I wear every day. And then in terms of shoes, it's really important for me to spend where I spend my money. And I have found that some of the big brands, who shall remain nameless, I feel like the impoverished conditions in which they produce their shoes, I'm not super happy about. So I will not wear, actually, I'll just tell you, I will not wear Nike shoes anymore. I do have some old pairs, which will be being thrown out. But the shoes that I love in terms of running and comfort is a company called On. So ON shoes. And they almost have like little, I don't know the right term for it. I really should, but they have like little pockets at the bottom of the shoe that is really important for shock absorption. So I still like to run. I mean, now it's a little bit cold for me, but I still will go out for the occasional run. And, I'm a woman in my 40s, like running on concrete, which is what I do. Not super great for the joints. So I love I love the shock absorption that this company has. I have orange shoes from them, white with black, black with pink. Like they have just beautiful shoes, and it feels like you're walking on a cloud. I have no affiliation with them, but I just love them. And as far as I know, they have really great environmental practices as well. And they're not, they don't have, they don't support, artists and or conditions that are abhorrent. All right. And my last piece for you in terms of favorite things. This can be for yourself, your sister-in-law, your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, is clean makeup. And there is, in my opinion, but one brand, and I use pretty much everything in their line. It's called Ilia Beauty, ILIA Beauty, BEAUTY. Their mascara, I don't even know what they put in this thing, but my lashes are long, they're black, they're full, easy to take off at night, and they're not made with some of the harsher chemicals that some of the more traditional brands have. and I use their bronzer. I use their, they have cream blushes. I actually double that with lipstick. I'm not wearing any lipstick today, but when I do wear blush, it's like a little bit of blush, a little bit on the lips. Their bronzer is really lovely. They have a really beautiful winged eyeliner. Just a stand-up company that is trying to make really great products without the same chemical overload that we have. And I think as women who typically use much more orders of magnitude more products than our male counterparts, we really want to be thinking about how we can be reducing some of that chemical load. So this is why I included athletic greens so that we can get the greens that we need, why I've included clean beauty products like Trina's Primal Life Organics, and of course, Ilia Beauty, absolutely spectacular brand as well. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed this Black Friday, Black Magic, my favorite things, my ode to the sound of music. I hope that you'll take a look at some of these products and maybe integrate them into your own life. And I'd love to actually hear, if you do, what some of the changes that you've noticed, maybe in your skin or your metabolic health or your sleep, anything like that has been. So with that, I bid you adieu, and I will see you very soon.